So, what's your take on using autotune? Because it's been controversial, especially in the past. Now it's kind of more, accepted. I think I appreciate it. So to me, it's like an electric guitar. Like you have an acoustic guitar and you're amping it up through electronics. The same applies to me for autotune. Like you have your voice and you're amping it up with autotune, and I like the sound it produces, but to a lot of people, they're like, no, it's not actually singing. It's artificial.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. I don't like it. What's your take on it now? Like,
I still to this day like autotune. I like how it sounds, and maybe I didn't program the thing that way, but that's how I perceive it. I like it. Does it bother me that it is the dominant sound right now on the radio? It does a little bit, because too much is too much. But I take more issue with the lyrics these days.
yeah,
It's like, I'm okay with the autotune,
yeah,
but we went from basically, like, the whole trap genre has gotten completely out of control. It's just, it's so fucking bad now.
yeah.
We went from Lil Wayne harmonizing, because that's how it started. A very good rapper that naturally couldn't sing, who began to harmonize, and with autotune, he made it sound good. But Lil Wayne was still very funny and witty, and there was a lot of creativity behind the bars. He wasn't talking about deep stuff, but he was, at the very least, the bar would make you laugh, or would like, oh, that's clever. You know, like, I see what he did there.
How he's putting the words into place. Yeah.
And the metaphors, you know, like I'm leaning like a three-legged lion. It's like, oh yeah, so you see like a lion with 3 legs, he's leaning. Like I get, like it's nothing crazy, but I get it.
You can get into his crazy mind where how he thinks.
Yeah,
and he's basically expressing his thoughts in his raps. Like he doesn't think too much about it. It's just his thoughts, and that's what's so great about Lil Wayne.
And it still reaches the bare minimum level of creativity.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just like all these fucking young autotune trap rappers they don't even rhyme, and they're like, yeah, pussy. Yeah, I get the bag. Big diamonds, fuck you. You can't do this.
That's the
like,
part about hip-hop I don't like.
It's like, dude, somewhere there has to be a rhyme or like something. Like, no. It's so bad.
It's about money and bitches all the time.
But it's always been about money and bitches.
Yeah,
but look, that's fine as long as you like make it witty. I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool with the ignorance. But make it like, and that's why I love Lil Wayne. Like at least he always made it like, when he says, showed your girlfriend the house, she thinks I live in the telly. A bitch I never met, I'm about to meet that bitch in Ellie, like, LA, like just little, it's nothing mind-blowing, but you're like, or like Juicy J, super ignorant rapper, but if you tell me that Juicy J doesn't have a very clever sense of humor, I'm sorry, then you don't get it, because he does. Juicy fucking J is more funny than most comedians. He says things, and purposely he like it's like, oh, I get it. Like that's funny, man. He makes fun of himself all the time. I like that. With these new rappers, there's all that is gone.
Juicy J came out with a new song 3 weeks ago with a video clip. It's super funny. You should see it.
Oh,
like he's calling his accountant saying, yeah, it's Corona. You can't burn through all of your money. And he's like, oh, fuck it. And this is what I do. This
is what I do. No, I mean, I love ignorant Juicy J. Yeah. I love him because the funny part is he's not actually ignorant. He's super smart.
Yeah.
And I see his intelligence. It's just, exuding through his music. The dude, trap is just, I've definitely found myself in a new phase lately where I'm just like, I can't vibe to that anymore. Always the same beat and just, it's too simple. They've dumbed it down too much. And I was just reading about this morning, about how the genre of hip hop has become so overexposed. Someone was drawing the parallel between what happened to rock. I don't know if you remember, but rock used to be the biggest genre, and then it became so big that it literally like self-destroyed. Rock is basically dead for the last like.
Yeah, I remember him, but it's like 10 years ago. I heard a song.
It's because it got so big. Rock used to be the shit, and then it became extremely watered down, and everybody started making rock. And this guy was talking about how the exact same thing has happened to hip hop music, to rap music, and it's true, man.
Don't you think like guys like The Weeknd, Drake got too big and too commercialized? That they kind of fucked up the hip hop community, where it's possible to make such big amounts of money now through hip hop, that they're all going for this general sound and less substance. I think
it was always going to happen. I think it was all. If it wasn't Drake, it would have been, maybe, I don't know, someone else. But it's just and it's a real thing. It's happened, and at this point, I think that there's something new is coming. Yeah. I think we have seen the peak of hip hop. I thoroughly believe that.
Yeah. I
think we're at the peak. The peak and the peak can be the peak for a while, eh? Yeah. Like, I'm not saying next year, but because everyone is rapping now, and like, for example, like Logan Paul, these crazy goofy YouTubers who are like, obviously they're not musicians. The crazy part is, when he makes a song, you know what the crazy part is? It actually sounds exactly like every other song on the radio. You would never, if Logan Paul comes on, you would never say, "Oh, is this trash?" No, you would be like, that's the norm.
And that's the problem with autotune, that it enables guys like that to actually sound quite good.
Acceptable.
Yeah, or acceptable.
But I'm doing the same, man. I was making songs like literally a few months ago, because But then again, in my defense, even though my vocals suck, at least my lyrics are still about something. I'm not just like shouting profanity. And I love autotune, but trap in general is just no. And I've also outgrown it. I've gotten to a point where it's crazy, man, how you actually become more mature and you kind of get tired of listening to gun talk all the time and like calling women hoes and this and that. It gets old. It does. It does.
Yeah, music has evolved, what I always used to like was just watching like MTV or something and watch these video clips and the creativity that was put in it, and especially from rappers also. But that's something, that's completely disappeared.
Yeah, and they all have the same look too, with the dreads and the pink dreads. But dude, you know what? It's also because we're getting older. Do you need help making better decisions in your life? Are you lacking self-confidence and motivation to get things done? Hire me today and get a direct daily line of communication with me through video chat and audio messages. I operate on a week-to-week basis, so no long-term investment is required. 7 straight days of Viking advice will get you right on track. Email me at lorenz.dries@gmail.com and change your reality. I'm ready whenever you are. See you soon.